tech and spec of the entire new Ribcor range, starting off with the Trigger 9 Pro. Now, when we look at the blade, the technology there is going to be the dual field blade with helicoid. Now, the helicoid is something that is fairly new to CCM sticks. We're going to touch on this later when we look at the 3-month review of this stick, but essentially what this does with the dual feel is enhanced puck feel, and CCM claims also better durability, but we will check that 3 months down the line. Other technology featured in the blade and also the rest of the stick is going to be the Sigma STP, which is that performance weave that CCM uses to reduce the weight and hopefully beef up the durability. Now, when we look at the shaft technology, specifically looking at the taper, it's going to be Skeleton Plus, which is featured throughout quite a few sticks in this range. Now, that's there to help with what CCM says improve the reliability in key moments of this particular stick. And aside from that, of course, we can't forget the Trigger Microfeel, which is essentially a exaggerated or raised grip to enhance the feel of the stick. Now, next up is going to be the Trigger 9K. Not the 9, the 9K actually is the second price point stick. When we look at the blade technology, it still uses the Sigma Tex as opposed to the Sigma STP, and that's going to be featured in the shaft and also the blade. When we look at the blade technology, it's the agility blade with peel ply, which is very different to what we see in the top spec Trigger 9 Pro. Other standout technology is going to be shaft technology, which is going to be, of course, the advanced carbon matrix, and of course, like I said previously, this does also feature the Skeleton Plus. Now, next from there is going to be the third price point, which is actually the Trigger 9. Standout technologies here are going to be the pure carbon shaft with Sigmatex blade. Now, when we look at the blade itself, these are the only two blades in the entire stick lineup that share the same technology, which is the agility blade with peel ply. Now, those are the standout features with the Trigger 9. Onto the 96K. Standout features in terms of the material in the shaft and the blade, it's going to be what CCM calls a C6 weave on the blade. Now, when we look at the actual blade technology, it's the Ascent 2 blade, which was actually a technology that was featured on a top spec trigger stick not that long ago. That would be, for example, one I could give is the Trigger 6 Pro. Now, onto the 94K. Standout technology is going to be the blade, which is what CCM refers to as a composite stiff blade. Very interestingly, the 94K is the only stick in the Ribcor lineup that has an R geometry instead of an E. Now, let's see how all of this tech applies when we jump on the ice.
Let's see what you got, Mr. Tommy. Oh. Thoughts so far?
It's a bit blade heavy, but not heavy enough that you think it's a low range stick.
Yeah.
It's not got the best feel.
Okay, that's fair. In comparison to what the
Trigger 9 Pro.
Okay, different level though.
Trigger 9 Pro, you don't even need to look at the blade to know where the puck is. I've said this in past videos. You need to know where the puck is on your blade to know how well the shot's going to come off, if that makes sense. With this, I don't really know. I have to take a quick peek. And obviously, sometimes you take that quick peek, you look up and you're looking at the ceiling, you know what I mean? It's not great, but it's not usable.
So not great feel for the puck.
Not great feel.
What did it excel at? What do you
I definitely think it was good for slap shots.
Yeah,
I think my slap shots.
You could see that. You could definitely see that.
Come off very clean.
Backhands look way cleaner as well.
Backhands are very nice. I felt like you could really. I mean, the curve always helps with the backhands. Yeah. It's a bit of a shovel.
So not great feel for the puck, but backhands.
Backhands are slap shots.
Slap shots.
Definitely was the standout feature of this stick was definitely slap shots.
And what about the weight? What did the weight feel like in the balance? Any comments on that?
It just feels a bit blade heavy, do you know what I mean? Everyone knows what a bit of a blade heavy stick feels like. And I think when a stick is a bit blade heavy, it's always better for shooting than feel.
Okay.
It's always been that way, even 10 odd years ago.
So for players that like a slightly heavier stick and maybe like to take bigger shots, this could be a good bet.
Definitely a good D-man stick.
But
for sure.
What about like the wrist shots? It being a trigger stick, it's obviously a low kick point stick.
I don't think the release was bad.
Yeah.
I felt that it always come off quite clean.
Yeah.
But it's hard to stay consistent when you don't know where you're shooting from.
That's fair. It's definitely good for slap shots.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell it's not up there with the Trigger 9 Pro.
Okay.
It hasn't got a lot of the features that the Trigger 9 Pro has.
Yeah.
For instance, the concave at the bottom of the stick, it's not there.
So what's the weight like?
You can definitely tell it's heavier.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think this would be a good stick for? Like,
Definitely a D-man. I mean, you just see that slap shot.
Yeah.
That come off, I think, fairly nice.
But is it fair to say that there is a very, very clear distinction between the lower price point sticks and the higher ones?
Oh, for sure.
I don't think it's encouraging people to go higher because, you know, a lot of players wouldn't be able to feel the difference.
I think it fits every category of player, whether you're a recreational player or a pro player.
Yeah. In what way?
If you're a pro player and you like everything to feel great, wrist shots, backhand, slap shots, feel all that stuff, like you don't have time to sort of look down and see where the puck is on your stick. You know what I mean? Everything's like that in hockey with the pros. So you want to have a stick you can rely on.
Yeah.
I think the Trigger 9 Pro does that.
Okay.
And then as you go down, it sort of goes down, I don't want to say the level of player, but sort of the level you play at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm a D-man and I know I've got time on my hands, this is a great stick for you, because I mean, I just walked in and ripped a slap shot off the crossbar. Yeah. You know? I definitely think, I wouldn't buy it because it's bit blade heavy, the grip's not as good as the Trigger 9 Pro, and I don't take a lot of slap shots.
That's fair. You want quick release and feel.
I want quick release, something I know where the puck is, it's reliable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that doesn't say this stick isn't for you. Like, it might fit your style of play. So don't think I'm just hating on this stick.
It kind of sounds like what you're saying is that it almost doesn't feel like a trigger.
It doesn't, no, it almost feels like an ASV.
Okay, see, that's interesting.
Or
fair.
not an ASV, attack, sorry.
Okay, that's fair. All right, what you got there? Try not to fall.
Ice, fix it, it's bad.
Sure. All right, what you got there?
I have the 96K.
All right.
It's the right curve this time.
The right curve.
The right curve this time.
It's not my fault.
I don't order stuff.
Listen,
I don't even know what's being ordered.
Play some hockey. Let's see what you got.
It's definitely got better grip than the other one.
Better grip than the other one?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's good.
For sure. One's gonna tickle my chin.
Stop whining about the mic and shoot the puck. Oh! That was nice.
Yeah.
So what's the backhand like?
Nice.
Oh, the rink's getting foggy.
It's definitely better than the last one.
Yeah?
Definitely 100% better grip.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard to hit a wrist shot with the grip on the last stick.
Yeah, this is much more usable.
Yeah, for my style of play anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's quite nice. It's got the concave, which is obviously better for release.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think it's too bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not
I think
bad
the question
at
is,
all.
would you use it? Would you use it?
I would use it.
Perfect.
I would use it.
That's impressive then.
It is.
96K.
I think this is better than the 9K.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I definitely think it's more balanced. This doesn't feel as blade heavy as the 9K.
Are you sure it's because you've been messing with the other sticks? Maybe if you pick up the 9K. Pick up the 9K now. Pick up the 9K now. Just check. Let's just check. We gotta check that.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, go on, keep going.
They're very balanced regardless.
Fair play.
They're very balanced. I mean, I can tell by the design that this one's higher up than this one.
Yeah.
But they are very close, which
That's
is impressive on CCM's behalf.
Okay, come on in. Let's get some more shots in.
You can tell instantly from design that the 9K is higher than the 96K, but it doesn't feel...
Doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Still feels good?
Yeah. I would use it.
That's a big deal for Mr. Princess with these sticks. Oh, heads.
I really want to give that a...
What are your thoughts?
It's nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't knock it. Yes, yeah, man, it's not bad.
So rank them for me right now. The whole trigger range, rank it.
Obviously, Trigger 9 Pro, hands down.
Okay.
You can just instantly tell that's top of the range stick.
Okay.
It's
Ooh.
like everything on steroids.
Does anyone listen to Young MA? Ooh. Trigger 9 Pro.
Trigger 9 Pro, definitely the Trigger 9.
Yep.
Because that almost feels like last year's top of the range.
All right, where do we go from there?
I think this and the Trigger 9 are like, not Trigger 9, is it Trigger 9? Trigger 9K, sorry. This and the Trigger 9K are like very close.
Okay.
And then the 94K.
Okay, so that one you can definitely feel it's a lower
Oh
end.
yeah, just instantly, I think grip gives that away straight away.
Okay, fair play, dude.
But obviously, like I said, you can tell a lot through the designs of the stick.
Where they spend a little bit more money.
Yeah, where they're almost like, let's make it a little bit more pretty for you.
So you're me, and you're trying to get the most bang for your buck with a hockey stick.
Right.
You play like me, you know, like when I can, once a week, on a good week. What would you say is the most bang for buck with those sticks? I'm trying to get max performance for the best value of money. What am I buying from the trigger range from CCM?
If money's not an issue, or if you're worried about money?
No, I want to be cautious. I don't want to go mad.
I think you could go from anywhere from the Trigger 9 to the 96K.
You have to pick one.
Oh.
Pick one for me.
I wouldn't be mad if someone handed me this and went use it.
Okay, so you're saying the 96K?
96K if you're like, I don't want to spend big bucks, but I want a Trigger 9 and I want best performance.
Yeah.
This stick's definitely, it's there.
Jeez.
It's not a terrible stick, it's definitely usable. It's got good feel, good backhand, good wrist shot, which is awfully weird because the Trigger 9K doesn't have as nice a feel as the 96K.
That's interesting.
Which is, yeah, it's strange. But you'll have to, I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna go out and buy a Trigger 9K and then buy a 96K and try it, but it's something you have to try to realise. I think you can tell just through the footage of shooting that I felt the puck better with this stick than the 9K.
That's fair.
Which is weird, but 100% I would use this, I wouldn't be mad. If money's not an issue and you're a bit of a princess like me and you like your sticks, the Trigger 9 Pro is definitely the way to go. It's like all of these sticks on steroids.
But I want to know, was there a big enough difference between the Trigger 9 and the Trigger 9 Pro to warrant the price hike?
Yeah, it felt like when we do old versus new.
Okay.
When we do like last year's versus this year's.
It was that big of a difference?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Okay.
But obviously, last year's Trigger 8 Pro is still a very nice stick. And
where would it rank?
Ooh.
Where would it rank in the new trigger range? Because that could also be a bargain for people to pick up instead of the new range.
Definitely above the 9K.
Okay. What about above the 9?
I'm not sure about the 9.
You think it'd be...
I think it'd be fairly close.
Maybe a blind test?
Maybe. Let us know.
Comment.
Let us know.
Anything else?
Maybe we'll throw the Trigger 9 Pro in there, see if it really makes a difference.
That'd be sick.
Maybe.
Anything else?
I'm impressed. Okay, so the Ribcor 94K. I just want to add that I love the fact they're bringing back the K in the Ribcor. Because I remember back when I was like 10, they made like Ribcor 90K skates or whatever it was, you know what I mean? You remember. And I think it's cool that they're bringing that back.
Okay, what is your thoughts on this stick compared to the other ones?
I think this definitely, you can tell, well, I think I can tell this is the lowest model. Purely for the fact of, one, design. You can always tell off of the way a stick is designed how much money they're expecting to get off of it. I might be in trouble for saying that, but it's, you know, I'm being completely honest. I think you can tell there's no concave in the stick, which is obviously better for release, and you can definitely tell that. I don't think it's incredibly heavy. I think it's, you know, it's heavy compared to the Trigger 9 Pro, but not heavy compared to some other sticks. I think it was great for slap shots. I think slap shots come off so clean with it. I think you could just lean through it and see where it goes. But being consistent with it is quite hard. Feel, I think it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. My shins are like really itchy right now, and that's so weird. But other than that, there's not many points that you can touch on because it's, you know, it's just a reliable, low price point stick.
Okay.
If we're then moving on...
Actually, what was the grip like?
Oh, good point. I completely...
We touched on it earlier.
Yeah,
but
the grip is not great.
it felt like it was only grippy when you rubbed it in one direction.
Yeah, which is really weird But it feels like if you like grip it that way, there's nothing there. I mean, you can see how easy my hand moves there, but if you push down on it, it's almost like...
It's very strange.
Yeah, and I think you could definitely, or I could definitely tell that while shooting, especially on the first shot. I leant down and sort of leaned through my shot, and it sort of slipped in my hand, which isn't great, because obviously if you're not, it's not going where you want it then, and it sort of bobbles through the air. So, yeah, I think there's not many points you can touch on. It's a reliable bottom range stick. If we then move on to the 96K, which I actually said I think is the best for your money out of all of these.
Which was quite surprising. And it is interesting how the lower price point sticks don't have the trigger name.
It is.
We didn't notice that at first.
I
mean, it's a Ribcor, but it's not a trigger?
It's not in the, it's not been knighted as a trigger.
It's not been knighted as a trigger. I like that.
But like I said, I also like the fact that they've brought back the K.
Yeah,
which is almost taking it back to Ribcor.
But that's best bang for buck.
Absolutely. I think the 9K and the 9 were also very close to this stick.
Yeah.
I completely winged it at this point. I mean, I went off design, and like you said, it's not been given the trigger name. It's almost like a different family, isn't it?
Yeah, but in terms of performance, what's the saying?
It's very close. It's great for wrist shots. I still think it's good for slap shots. I will say that it had better feel for the puck than the 9K.
That is
which is very, very weird. I think you could definitely tell that while we were shooting and all. I was more consistent with the 96K than I was the 9K.
What was the grip like on this one, and also the weight?
A lot better grip on this one, for sure. For sure. I think you can also see that in the video.
And you get your concave convex back.
You get the concave. I like my concave.
No ribs though.
No ribs.
And it's a Ribcor. That's weird, isn't it?
It is. It is. But you know it is because it hasn't been knighted with the trigger 9.
Hasn't been knighted, yeah.
But then you say that the trigger 9 doesn't have it.
That's interesting.
But the trigger 9K does.
It might give you a little indication about the price point there, doesn't it?
Maybe. Probably. I did say I think I'm going to be wrong with those ones.
Yeah. When you look at them on the ground, you can see it tells a different story, doesn't it?
It does. But I still think
speaks.
It does. So if we're going to go off that, great stick. If money's like, I don't want to spend a lot,
that's the one.
But I still want a high performance stick, definitely this one. If we're then moving on, which now looking at it, I think I've got it wrong, the trigger 9K.
But this is why we do it based on performance.
It is indeed.
Not the price.
It is indeed.
What are we saying about the 9K?
Great stick. I think it definitely excelled in slap shots.
Yeah.
I think you can definitely see that while we were shooting. I also touched on it a little bit earlier. It doesn't have great feel for the puck, which is obviously an issue because if you're playing at a fairly high level, you don't have the time to look down at your stick to make sure the puck's in the right position, because you look down and then you're looking up at the lights, which no one likes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think
weight,
like a top of the range stick, like you'd expect. I mean, I'm a bit shell shocked that I think I've got it wrong now, to be honest. I think this comes above the 9, but the performance doesn't show that.
Okay.
The performance doesn't show that, and I'm gonna go.
And it's been knighted.
It has. I'm gonna go straight on to the trigger 9.
Okay.
Because I think this is just a reliable stick. But the trigger 9, I touched on it earlier. It's almost like a trigger 8 Pro from last year.
That's impressive.
That's the closest thing I can. It's like a quick summary almost.
Yeah.
Great for almost everything. It doesn't have much weight difference between the Trigger 9 Pro and the Trigger 9, which is why I thought it comes second. I didn't even think of my head design, because I did on the lowest two,
yeah.
But I didn't on this because performance just outweighed the way it looked.
So what really stood out on the Trigger 9 versus the 9K?
Definitely the feel.
Yeah.
You definitely get a lot better feel for the puck, which, like I said, makes a big difference for me. I'm about 5'4". I don't want to be looking down at my blade to then look up, because by the time I look up, I've got a 6'2" defenseman coming to take my head off, you know?
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. I'm shell shocked. I really am.
You can see it now, can't you?
I can, yeah. You can tell. As soon as, I mean, you could feel it and all, but not enough that it was going to sway me to put the 9K above it, because I don't think that you got better feel for the puck with the Trigger 9K. But then it makes you question whether the ribbed actually makes that much a difference or whether it's there just for design.
Okay, and then obviously what about the top dog?
Oh, top dog, you can tell it's top dog straight away.
Yeah, just everything.
Yeah, it's like the Trigger 9 on steroids.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's the easiest way to put it. It's a trigger, you know, reliable for every single shot, but excels in the quick release, which is what you want. It's great for backhands, unreal grip. The grip is insane. It almost feels like someone's rubbed super glue on it. It's like really sticky.
Yeah.
Or when your tape goes really old and it's like, do you know what I mean? You can almost hear it.
You can hear it.
Do you know what I mean? And that's my hand, that's not my glove.
Yeah.
So the grip is insane. Well done, CCM, because this stick is just impressive. I said earlier, the Trigger 9 Pro is the best trigger I have ever used, hands down.